Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This video is about the row layout block in Cadence. This is a mini-series of videos taking a look at Cadence blocks one by one. To get started, let's open up a brand new blank page to look at this block on its own. So there's a couple ways to open a new page, and the first one is if you're on your front end, that is your website, and you're logged in, there's this top toolbar, hover over New and click on Page. Alternatively, if you are on your dashboard, head over to your left-hand sidebar, down to Pages, and click on Add Page. Alright, once we're here, just a few housekeeping things before we move forward. If this right-hand sidebar isn't here, click on this button beside Publish. And this is where all of the settings for the blocks and for us to toggle and configure will appear. Next, let's give our page a title. Just to keep things organized. And last but not least, let's go ahead and add the block itself. So we'll click on this blue button on the top left called the block inserter. Now you can either search for the block or scroll down, but since Cadence is here and row layout is in the top, we either have to just click it or drag and drop it into our workspace. Now you can see here we have a whole bunch of different options to choose from. Now let's make things a little interesting, and let's go ahead and use this one. Now we also have the design library, right, which we can take a look at later. But let's go ahead and just use a simple one here. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have some spacing options here. And you can even see we have even other ones over here. And you know what, we might even go with this one. Okay, and you can see that our options change depending on how many columns we have. So we'll just stick with 3. And let's go ahead and add some elements, some blocks to these, just so that we have something to look at. So we'll go ahead and use images. And we'll probably go with some square images here. This one should be good. This one probably the cell phone. Okay, and then we'll do a landscape one for the last. Okay, and we should have some right here. Okay, great. And now let's go ahead and just decrease the maximum size of all of these. In fact, we can just go 500, 500, 500 on these. And this last one should be just fine. And we want to center this up here. And then we'll do the same with these by looking at these individual sections here and clicking on this. And okay, so that's something to look at. Let's go back to our row layout and see what we can do. So we have our columns, which we set up earlier, and we have our layout here, which we set up, and we can change it depending on desktop, tablet, and mobile, as you can see, because sometimes they just simply won't fit on the display. And we can also change the gutter and the row column gutter, and we can also change the row gutter. Probably keep it on small. And then we can also inherit the max content width from the theme, or we can make our own max content width. We can also add a top divider. Put a color in it. And we can also change the height of this and the width. We can also add a bottom divider. Go with this one. And then make it green. And change the height of this. And it's actually starting to look kind of professional. Next, we have our style here. We can add a background or a background image. And you can also use a video, and we'll just go with a gradient here. And it actually looks really great. And then we also have our background overlay here. As you can see, it's like this, and you can see it turns purple because they're mixing. And you can also use an image for our background overlay. And you know what? Let's go ahead and use one of our digital classroom images from here, just to show you guys You can see it's right there, and we can change the opacity to be something like that. Okay, it looks very, very cool, and we can put our elements and stuff within this container, and it's very easy to use. We can also change the filters and the way it's stretched. We can also add a border. Let's go with blue, and then put it to 5 pixels. There you go. We have a border there. Oops. We can also add a border radius and round it out. We can also add a shadow. There you go. And then text color settings, which we don't have on here, but there you go. And then we have our advanced settings here, such as padding and margins, structure settings, minimum height, z-index, that's our layers, and we have our visibility settings, hide on desktop, tablet, or mobile, and we can also hide this from logged in and or logged out users. We can save this as our default block if we wanted to use this as a pattern, and custom CSS, and advanced HTML anchor, and additional CSS classes, and row content only while editing. Okay, next we have here our images themselves, and it's set as that. But let's set that to disabled, and let's take a look at these sections one by one. And we have another video on that, but just a quick look at these. If we were to select these, that's how we were able to align them within the blocks. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on Publish to save our progress and take a look at how this row layout looks like on our live site. Okay, with that done saving, let's click on View Page, and here is our row layout block from Cadence blocks in WordPress. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.